Now, the government has published new coronavirus guidelines for schools in England just days before many pupils return. Secondary school students might have to be taught on a rota system if there's a significant increase in COVID-19 cases in their area, but the Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, said that would only be as an absolute last resort. With more, our education correspondent Dan Johnson.
With more classrooms filling up next week, head teachers had called for more guidance on handling cases and responding to local outbreaks. That came last night, but there was some confusion about how many pupils could be sent home if a classmate tests positive.
We've been asking for months and months and months, what if schools need to close down because of lockdown? That's been seen as a kind of act of heresy, and yet here we are, the Friday night before a bank holiday weekend, a school's going to open. It really isn't the government's finest hour.
These pupils in Leicestershire are already back, but a suggestion whole year groups would have to automatically isolate could have affected hundreds of pupils in large schools. The Department for Education's now highlighting more nuanced guidance that advises only those pupils or staff who've been in close contact with someone who's tested positive to self-isolate, not necessarily an entire class or year group, though it could still be disruptive. The guidance also includes a 4-stage set of responses if there's a local lockdown, which prioritise keeping younger children in school. The default position, Tier 1, would see schools remaining open, with all pupils attending full-time. But if infection rates locally are considered too high, Tier 2 could see secondary pupils on a part-time rota, spending 2 weeks in school and the next 2 weeks working from home. A more severe response, Tier 3, would see most secondary pupils studying at home with only vulnerable children and those of key workers in. Tier 4 would extend that to primary and other schools, effectively back to the vast majority of children learning remotely, like earlier in the year.
If children are sent home in lockdown, it's absolutely vital that the government make it clear what they are expected to learn, that Ofsted and work as candid friends with the schools, and that the computers are provided to those children who don't have them.
With further interruptions looking likely, clear communication and coordination will be vital.
Parents need to talk to teachers about, what's happening at home, so that teachers are really clear as to what sort of worries children might be bringing.
It's being stressed these would be reluctant steps for worst-case scenarios. The government committed to getting all children back in the classroom, and its intention is to do everything it can to keep them there. Dan Johnson, BBC News.